You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
I've looked back at MCC with all these kids coming out here, these men and women starting their lives out here, starting their dreams and their visions of what they want to do for their family. It's the foundation for our community.
The plan is to go win.
Yes, sir.
Our girls set a goal that they wanted to win a national championship. They wanted to win a conference championship. That's been on the table from day one. And now we put ourselves in the position to do that.
Pitch hit in the air and deep to left field. Going back is Rayvon Morgan at the wall. He leaps and he makes the catch for the third out.
Too much to give in. If you think it's over, then let's start it again. The planet's alive, the stars burn bright, the sun goes down, we keep going all night. Going back down, the moment is now. Don't miss out, we're never turning around. That is your
Going back, can't get to it. It'll go all the way to the wall. One run is scored. Now the third coming home to score is Aiden Cooney.
Catch me if you can. We're renegades.
It's this one here in right field. It is treetop call and over the wall.
We're renegades. We're renegades. We're renegades. Listen up, listen up.
Hits the first pitch down the right field side. That's going to be it. Touching third and coming home is the winning run, Carson Croca. Give a RBI double to Blake Hansen. And the Highlanders walk it off and win by a score of 10-9.
We're renegades. Yeah. Yeah. Rappers really don't want beef with me. Trust me, I can beat you easily. Suckers get DDT'd. I've been swinging for the fences since I was in Little League. I'm at their neck like a guillotine. Woo, Langston Hughes with the verses. Hook something like a ring, no. Baby girl, I ain't got time to chase you. I've been chasing dreams, whoa. I'm going crazy like I'm daylight, yeah. I'm a crossover gang, AI, yeah. We be skipping over all of your verses just like the CD with a playwright, yeah. I already know if the beat is bananas, it's only right that I go ape on it, yeah. Going crazy like I'm daylight, yeah. I'm a crossover gang, AI, yeah. We be skipping over all of your verses just like the CD with an A, yeah. Going crazy like I'm daylight, yeah. I'm a crossover gang, AI, yeah. We be skipping over all of your verses just like the CD with a playwright, yeah. Going crazy like I'm daylight, yeah. I'm a crossover gang, AI, yeah.
This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis brings the realness. Dive into the heart of sports with the most passionate commentary around. From pro to high school, Jalen's got the insight and energy you crave. Catch all the action weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network, only on YouTube. Join the conversation and elevate your sports knowledge with Centex Primetime. Don't miss it.
Need video or audio solutions? Lighthouse Streaming, a full-scale media agency, can transform any event. Check this out. We're talking live streaming that's crisp and clear, event audio that hits every note, and church video and audio solutions that'll enhance worship. Corporate events, we got those on lock too. From concerts to conferences, Lighthouse Streaming and Audio makes your vision shine. Book your appointment now at lighthousestreaming.com or call 254-252-4206 for a free consultation. Let's elevate your event and light up the stage.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jalen Gillis. You may know me from Centex Sports Network. We're starting a new platform, Recruit 254. Our mission is to highlight the amazing student athletes of 254. So if you're in the Waco, Killeen, Temple, Mart, Marlin, or any surrounding 254 areas, follow this platform and join the movement. Recruit 254. 254, let's run it up.
Hello, my name is Roy Gillis, CEO of Lighthouse Streaming, and you're watching Centex Sports Network.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
I've looked back at MCC with all these kids coming out here, these men and women starting their lives out here.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, as we are here on this Football Tuesday, as you could call it. Football Tuesday, we're getting ready to go through all the topics here in sports, your high school level, NFL level, college level. We'll cover all that here today on Centex Primetime. We want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today on Centex Sports Network. If you haven't already, go over to our YouTube, Centex Sports Network / Centex Sports TV. Go on there, hit that subscribe button, like and share this stream as we get ready to talk about a multitude of things, everything to do with football and the NBA. The NBA season tips off. I'm gonna say kicks off. It tips off tonight. Actually, in a few minutes, my Houston Rockets will be taking on the defending champs, Oklahoma City Thunder. That game coming on at 6:30. So we'll talk about the NBA season today as well. Like I said, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. If you're watching with us on Facebook, want to thank you guys as well. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and on our website, CentexSportsNetwork.com. Just need your name and your email, free subscription to get signed up on there to catch all of our content. That includes MCC Volleyball. Last night they had a game. They lost against Lee College. They'll be back in action on Wednesday at home, this time at the Highlands. So if you don't go to the game in person, make sure you support those young ladies right here on Centex Sports Network. You'll be able to catch all of their action. They'll also be in action on Saturday as well. Friday, we've got a really, really special show planned for you guys, as Friday Night Flex will be back in action. But this time, last week you guys got a special show. We were live in Marlin, Texas for the homecoming. Well, this Friday, we'll be live from WISD Stadium. Big game this weekend, old-time rivalry of two versions of really the same school. University and Waco High will be this weekend on Friday. Can't wait to be able to catch that. Myself, Rocky Miller, Wayne Walker will all be in the building for that. So make sure you guys tune in for a special edition of Friday Night Flex this Friday, 6 to 10 p.m. right here on Centex Sports Network. Well, folks, we got a lot to jump into, so we're going to get right to it. Joining me here at the desk, we've got the most famous man in Waco and the proud Waco High alums. We just got done talking about those Waco High Lions. Mr. Rocky Miller in the building with his Rock. What's going on?
Hey, man, what's going on, man? That's a great thing. We're going to be at WISD Stadium, and I'm proud to say that is my house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't build it, but it's still my house, and I'm a proud Waco High Lion. And for many years, Waco High has dominated that playing field. But we're having a rough time now, Jalen. So
I get it.
We'll see. It seems like the first half, the stadium's 25 years old. The first half, we had a pretty good run in that stadium. This second half of this, the last, 15 years, I say, it's been pretty rough,
Yeah.
And so So I look forward to going there and being getting the feel of the stadium, being in there against a big-time crosstown rivalry. This is the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Yeah.
This is Alabama, Auburn.
Yeah.
This is Texas, Oklahoma. This is Waco's version of that crosstown rivalry. I would also like to say it's a friendly rivalry.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And, in large part because if you just look at since consolidation, I want to say Waco had won like 22 times in a row, and then under the guidance of Coach Rodney Smith, University finally got a victory. So, and then ever since then, it's been kind of rough over on Call Court. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so again, I'm looking forward to it though, definitely. These teams are really on two different trajectories if you think about it. Waco High is looking for its first win of the season. University is looking forward to being in the playoffs, coming off a big victory, a big comeback.
Yeah.
That they had last week, and so it should be a rivalry. But this is like any other rivalry. You can throw the records out on this one right now. Waco High is playing for pride. They can literally, stamp their season this year as making progress and even somewhat of a success if they can get this victory. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters today. If they can get that victory against the University Trojans, and I look forward to them putting up a great effort, and I can't wait to see how this will turn out. And I'm glad that Centex Sports and Friday Night Flex will be in the building. Of course, giving great analysis, but I'll definitely be hoping the Waco High Lions can pull it out.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great event when these two teams get a chance to match up with each other. As you said, University has won the last few, but, my entire lifetime, for the most part, that was a Waco High-dominated event. So it's time for University to get some wins in as well. But we'll see. It's going to be a big-time matchup this weekend. As you alluded to, all things cannot be erased, but all will be forgotten at least for a weekend if Waco High can come out there and get a big-time victory against a really good University team. But we'll be in the building. You'll be able to catch all the action, pregame, and everything will be right here on Centex Sports Network. So make sure you guys are tuning in and getting ready for that. Let's jump into these games. We like to call it, like I said, Football Tuesday. It'll be a little bit different because we're going to throw some basketball in there as well as the NBA season getting ready to tip off in just a few. But we've got to recap this weekend in football. That includes high school, that includes NFL, and that includes NCAA as well. Want to start in the NFL? We had a couple of Monday night games last night, some Monday night doubleheaders. And, I don't like starting the show like this where we have to talk about the Texans losing, and then after that we're going to talk about the Cowboys winning. It's not really how I planned on starting the show, but that's just how it's going for today. Got to talk about the Houston Texans, man. The Texans fall to 2-4 on the season after a 27-19 loss last night against Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. This was a game that you don't take much away from the Seattle Seahawks. I think they played the same that they've played for a majority of the season. Sam Darnold played okay. Jackson Smith-Njigba looks like a true number one as he's looked all season long. This game is about the Houston Texans and this offense. Now, C.J. Stroud has not played that great of football, not only last night, but really this entire year. I've tried to give him some passes here and there because even last night he played with 4 backup offensive linemen. Now, 4 backup offensive linemen is a big task to overcome for anybody. But when your starting 4 offensive linemen aren't good, I'm sure the backups have to be even worse than that. He played with 4 backups last night, and it looked like he played with 4 backups last night. 1 turnover in the interception, but had multiple fumbles last night. A couple of them were recovered. A couple of them weren't. The defending team got them. Sacked 3 times last night. A 25 QBR for C.J. Stroud as he went 23 for 49. The running game, complete and totally non-existent. C.J. Stroud was actually the leading rusher with 25 yards in this game. Texans only rushed for 56 yards. Dalton Schultz got a majority of the catches last night. But they looked out of sync. They looked disjointed from start to finish in this game on the offensive side of the ball. They wasted another good defensive performance by the Texans defense that could only do so much. They held Seattle to 27 points, but it could have been less than that if they weren't starting, on their 40-yard line. They weren't starting in midfield almost every single time because this offense is not able to move the ball. I think questions have to be pointed at everybody in the Texans organization at this point. Not only to C.J. Stroud, who, yes, he's playing behind a bad offensive line, but he's struggling. He's struggling when the offensive line is protecting him. He's missing guys. He's holding on to the ball too long. And I think that's a byproduct of getting hit so much over the last couple of years. But we also got to question Nick Caserio and these guys that continue to not draft offensive linemen. The entire last season was the overwhelming narrative was they can't block C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud can't stay off the ground. What do the Texans do? They come out in the first couple of rounds and draft a running back and a receiver. It's not what we needed. They continually draft good defensive players every year, and I'm happy for that because the defense is still one of the best in the league. But when are we going to start spending the capital on the offensive line? Man, it got to a point last night where it was hard to watch with C.J. Stroud. But what did you think about the Texans' performance, losing to Seattle last night, and just the season so far, starting at 2-4?
Okay, so here's a couple things. One, I want to give credit to Seattle. I think they're a pretty good team.
They are.
Sam Darnold is playing pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what you have to come away with looking at that, playing pretty solid. The other thing is this, Jalen. When you think about C.J. Stroud and what he's able to do for the team, right? They have a team offensively that is all on his back.
Yes.
He's not getting any help up front.
Mm-mm.
He didn't, last night he didn't get any help from the wide receivers. And the running game is
non-existent.
It's almost a negative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they had a 4th and 1. They end up losing 2 yards, look like.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not getting any help, and it's all on his back. And I'll say this. You just can't win like that.
You can't.
You can't win like that. And playing a good team.
Yeah.
Now, if you were playing a Huckleberry,
yeah,
they may have a chance to win. But you cannot beat a good team like that. You have to have what I would call complementary football when you're playing a good team. And for whatever reason, even on the 4th down play, I believe in hindsight they probably should have punted. Because at that point, Seattle's offense was kind of rolling.
Mm-hmm.
They probably should have punted in that situation, but I know analytics and all that kind of stuff. But my point is C.J. Stroud didn't get any help, and because he's not getting any help on the offensive side, he's looking bad.
Yeah,
he's looking bad. But one of the best plays of the game, crucial time in the game, he steps up, avoids pressure, steps up, throws a strike to Nico Collins early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
What does Nico do?
Dropped
he
it.
dropped it. There wasn't nobody in the middle of the field but him and Jesus. And he just dropped it. It wasn't contested or anything like that. Wasn't anybody obstructing the view between him and C.J. Stroud or nothing. He just drops it. And with a struggling offense, you got to get some help. Your players have to help your quarterback out. You know the offensive line is going to struggle. So the wide receivers, somehow you have to play with. A few games ago, Dak Prescott played, I can't remember the team. Maybe it was even the Jets. I can't think of who it was.
The Jets or Carolina.
With 4 backup linemen.
I think that was the Jets. Mm-hmm.
4 backup linemen. But what happened in that game? Dak was able to get some help, not only from George Pickens, who played huge,
mm-hmm.
but he also was able to get some help from the offensive line. Even though there was a backup offensive line, they seem to be able to run the ball much better than the starting offensive line. So you got to be able to do one or the other. You can't just leave your quarterback on an island and nobody helps him out. And again, Dak and CJ went into the same situation last night, and what happened with the Cowboys, though he didn't get much help from the defense, Dak didn't.
No.
He got lots of help from his fellow offensive teammates, and they were able to light it up, even though they had 4 backup offensive linemen. So that just goes to show you can move the ball, but everybody else on the team has to play at a very high level to help your quarterback out. And I think C.J. Stroud is capable of being a functioning, solid NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
He's just like any other person. He needs some help.
Yeah, and without that help, he's going to look below average a lot of the time. And the running game is really the biggest part because even last year when the offensive line was bad, Joe Mixon was a 80 to 90 yards a game guy. And a lot of those games, well, not a lot of them, but at least half of those games, he's going over 100 yards. Without Joe Mixon being out there, with Nick Chubb looking like he's closer to retirement than he is the Nick Chubb of old, with a young Woody Marks out there that's still trying to make his mark in the league, it's just tough. With no running game whatsoever, you're playing the Seattle defense that's one of the top defenses in the league, especially in the secondary. They got some of the best young talent in the secondary out of the entire league. They're a team that can run the ball with multiple different guys that can keep the ball away from you. And they got a guy in the slot that's virtually unguardable in Jackson Smith and Jigba when you're playing it from outside of the slot. So especially with Clint Kubiak being able to scheme up for those guys, he's almost unstoppable out there. Seattle is a good team, and I'm very confused on this NFC West. I still would have the Rams as a top-tier team in the NFC West, but with Seattle being 5-2, with the Rams being 5-2, with the 49ers being 5-2, very, very competitive NFC West that we're getting there. But the Texans fall to 2-4 on the season. Seattle moves on to 5-2. The other Monday night game, the first one, this was the game that went like I expected it to, really. The Detroit Lions getting a 24-9 win over Tampa Bay, able to hold down this very, very explosive Tampa Bay offense. But with more guys getting hurt on Tampa Bay's offense, it's kind of tough for them right now. We saw Mike Evans go out with a pretty bad collarbone injury is what they said it ended up being, a broken collarbone.
Wow.
He goes out halfway through that game. They're already down Chris Godwin in that game. They're losing receivers. And Buka has been, great for him along with Tez Johnson, the two rookies. But a lot of the guys they had on the team, McMillan is added into that as well, has been hurt for a lot of the year. But Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, and the Lions, they dominated. Amon-Ra was able to get open on every third down. Jahmyr Gibbs was unstoppable, 17 carries for 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Jared Goff had a Jared Goff type of game, 240 yards, a touchdown, and a pick as the Lions get a win 24-9. Is Detroit the cream of the crop in the NFC in your opinion?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't, again, I think they have a solid running game.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem with Detroit. There are teams that they aren't going to be able to just turn around and get big scoring plays out of the running game. See, here's the deal. That's a different game if you don't get the plays, the chunk plays from Jahmyr Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, it's really a struggle. It could have been a struggle for the Lions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you get those chunk plays. You get I want to say 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
You get another long screen pass for, and that kind of separates. But what I was impressed with, the most impressive thing I saw was Detroit stopping the run.
Yes.
Like their ability to stop the run against Tampa Bay kind of dictated that it was all on Baker Mayfield. He was down his wide receivers. And then that kind of was, a recipe for disaster. I'm not sure how many times he was sacked, but I know he was he was sacked 4 times. So he was under duress, all night, and that just and they were behind, and so that set up for a situation where, and in crucial situations, I don't think they executed in any of their crucial fourth downs or third and shorts or anything like that. Again, Detroit is definitely beatable. I when I think about it, I'll say even the Packers can beat them, who has already beat them.
Yeah.
I'll say Philadelphia can beat them for sure. And then any of those 3 teams in the NFC West will give them a tussle because all those teams seem to be able to put pressure on the quarterback, and we all know what happens to Jared Goff when he's under pressure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. I think I still have Philly as the cream of the crop in the NFC, but I've seen people questioning it the last couple of days after Detroit, especially after last night after Detroit's able to get a good win. Nobody wants to play Matt Stafford and the Rams, and that includes the Eagles, That includes the Lions. That includes the Packers. Nobody wants to play those guys because no one wants to play Matt Stafford. It really doesn't have much to do. Not much. I don't want to say not much to do with their team, but their team is good. The same as some of these other teams is good. But Matt Stafford is what makes it different. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, I still feel like are the team to beat in the NFC until somebody beats them. Yeah, they're going to struggle, but it's hard to win that many games in a row. They won, almost every game they played in last year, and then they come back this year.
And they could have won every game this year. The games they lost.
Yeah.
They could have easily won those games had they got a break too. A lot of people were talking about how they wouldn't get the ball to AJ Greenway, but those games were in play, even though they I would consider played bad.
Yeah.
Those games were still in play. They had and I definitely agree with you that if Philly plays their best game, I don't believe there's no one in no one in the league that can beat them. There's some teams that can come close, right? I'll even say this. Let me just clarify this. If Philly plays their best game, the only other team playing their best game that I think can beat them is Kansas City.
I agree with that.
I think that, in my opinion,
complete on both sides of the ball.
I think they're on a collision course. You see how Buffalo's playing. You see how Baltimore's playing. Cincinnati is, what they are. I don't.
Chargers haven't been able to separate themselves.
Denver was down by 16 points, 19 points in the fourth quarter to the Giants. So again, when you think about all this, I just don't see. I think the Philly and Kansas City is on a collision course right now. I don't know what Vegas says, but I know. I've looked at all of these teams several times, and that's what I see. I see Philly and KC on the collision course.
Yeah, I don't see it. Philly's still the top team. Kansas City, not only are they playing good football the last couple of weeks, but nobody in the AFC just looks scary to me like that. Nobody. There's good teams. There's Buffalo. There's Denver. There's the Chargers. But nobody looks scary.
The most impressive team, in my opinion, outside of Kansas City in the AFC, let's be honest, it's
Daniel Jones and the Colts. I knew he was going to say
Indianapolis.
It's the Colts, man. Indy looks good.
But at the end of the day, going into a big game,
I can't trust Daniel Jones.
Is anybody in a big game going to pick Daniel Jones over Patrick Mahomes?
I can't. Oh, over Patrick. You could have named a few other people.
No. What I'm saying is,
but Mahomes for sure.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's ultimately.
That's what it's gonna come down.
That's what it's gonna come down to.
I agree. And Indy has played maybe the best football in the league. We're just going regular season. Resume, as you say, over reputation. Probably the best football in the league. The game they lost, they could have won in that game as well, man. Daniel Jones, as much as I've criticized him, he's played some really good football. Jonathan Taylor and the rest of the crew out there play some good football.
Well, I think they're playing such good football. If you can click on their game against that they played the Chargers, and everybody, for whatever reason, wants to anoint. See, this is why people want to make Justin Herbert a superhero.
They really want to make him the guy since he got drafted.
The heir apparent. He looks the part, right? But in a game, and this is why he's kind of different than guys like, I say Patrick Mahomes, even Josh Allen in that regard. Mm-hmm. When he's in a situation where it's all on him, he rarely comes away as competitive. You understand what I'm saying? He gets blown out. You know what I mean? It's not that he has to win those games. It's can you go back and forth? Can you go tit for tat? And a lot of this game, he was down by a lot, man.
Yeah.
He was down by a lot in this game.
And Indy's done that to almost everybody they've played. And not only they get on teams early. Like most of the time in the first half of the game, Indy is smacking somebody for every game this season so far, besides the game they lost. They're usually up and they're up big.
And I think that game had a lot to do with turnovers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was turnovers in that
turnovers
game.
played big in that game. Because once and turnover-free football from the Colts is what's had them winning most of these games. They're almost just waiting on. It's like a counterpuncher. We're just waiting on you to throw a pick or make a mistake because we're not going to throw any picks. No one's going to fumble. We're going to give Daniel Jones the ball. We're only going to run the plays he likes. that's going to have somebody completely wide. I haven't seen him throw that many contested catches this year. Every play seems like they're wide open.
They're so good up front. And what I mean by up front on the offensive line, that they run the ball so well, and then they don't allow Daniel Jones to be under a lot of pressure at all. He has mostly a clean pocket, and he's able to deliver the football. Again, I think when you look at Indianapolis, if it was any other quarterback in the league, and I ain't gonna say any other quarterback, but if you had if it wasn't Daniel Jones, if it was C.J. Stroud, if it was anybody else on this team, you would say, yeah, they're playing the best in the league.
Oh yeah.
But nobody. But because of
Daniel Jones and
because of his reputation, people aren't, and that's why each and every week I think they go in undervalued in every game, because guess what? A lot of these guys have marquee quarterbacks that he plays, and they've been smacking them up every week.
Yeah, I mean, you always like to find you a groove for those of you that like to sports bet, and when you're finding your teams. Indianapolis has been an easy win every week. Every week has been an easy win. If you put them on your parlay, if you straight bet with them, they cover every time. Whatever their over in points is, they cover that every time. Like they beat the spread almost every single game, man. So Indy is playing great football. I want to go to another team that plays some good football on Sunday. A team that you might be kind of familiar with, Rocky, the Dallas Cowboys, getting the victory over their rival in the Washington Commanders. In this game, Jaden Daniels left the game about, in the third quarter of that game when he got out, but Dallas was dominating when he was in the game. Dallas was dominating when he was out of the game. As soon as Mariota got in and threw the pick six, I said, oh, man, they just going to do him bad to the old-time foe in the Commanders. But Dallas gets a win, 44-22 in this game. Rock, I'll let you break down, man. What did we see in this game from the Cowboys and how they got a victory?
We saw something that we hadn't seen all season. We saw the defense put up some resistance, against a pretty reputable quarterback. And not only were they putting up resistance, they put up resistance by rushing the passer. I think they got a couple sacks, got 4 sacks actually. They were also able to defend the pass much better than they have. Now again, I've been yelling at the television for 6 weeks now.
To get out of zone.
Get out of zone. You know what I was going to say. Get out of zone. And they finally get out of zone. DB seem to play better. They seem to, Now again, there were no starting wide receivers on this team. And maybe that's why the defense felt better playing man-to-man against this team, because they were depleted. Yeah. But I think Deron Bland hadn't had an interception since my granddaughter was born. You know what I mean? And he finally got his hands on the ball.
He took it back to the crib once again.
Yeah, those are the kind of things. Like, again, the Cowboys are not going to be dominant defensively, but they have to be able to put some resistance up. And again, outside of injury, I don't know what you do against this Dallas defense to kind of slow them down. Dallas offense.
Yeah.
If Javonte Williams can run the ball like that, you're in trouble. The league's in trouble. You're in trouble trying to stop him. Like that's just the reality. How many teams can put up? Teams are struggling to put up 25, 30 points. Who's going to put up 40? And Dallas has, again, they've been in the high 30s a couple times this year. I think that's where they have to be in order to have a chance to win. And I think they have some teams coming up on their schedule that just aren't capable of putting up points like that. Like they just can't keep up. And I just think this is the formula for Dallas. If they can play like this, they'll be a playoff team. Yeah. They definitely have a playoff offense, and I'll even say this: it's very seldom. The only other team I can think of, and maybe Detroit a couple years ago too, where you have a high-powered offense and you don't make the playoffs. Most high-powered offenses are going to make the playoffs. I remember Jameis Winston. The 30 for 30 year,
Tampa Bay.
They didn't make the playoffs, and then I believe there was one year where people say Cowboys got a phantom pass interference that kept the Detroit Lions out the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
And those were the two teams where I remember they had a pretty high-powered
Cincy last year.
offense. Yeah, Cincy last year. So, but usually if you have a high-powered offense, you're gonna be in the hunt at least.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in the hunt.
You have to have almost like Cincy last year, historically bad defense in order for it to not happen when you're scoring.
And the
points.
NFC is not the AFC. When you talk about teams and quarterbacks and stuff like that.
Only team, only quarterback you fear in the NFC is number 9 for the Rams. That's it. Outside of that, Dak is going in every game. Like, man, put whoever you want out there. I'm gonna outplay them dudes. And seeing the way that Dak Prescott is not only playing, but just the sheer command of the offense. It's like it's his team. I know it's been his team and it's been his offense, but this year looks like this is Dak's team. And it's almost like, don't even worry about the offense. Don't give us any calls. Don't tell us anything. I got this. I'm going to go out there and run the right plays. He's executing at a very high level. Javonte Williams is playing at a high level. And nobody in the league has got enough DBs to guard CD and George Pickens playing at the level they're playing at right now. It's unguardable at this point.
I'm looking at this Broncos game. It is on the road. And this in Mile High, this is going to be a test for us. But again, I think we have a chance. The point total is going to be up there, and we'll get it. We'll see. We'll see what because I believe that Bo Nix is one of those guys. He's gonna throw you one.
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
He's gonna throw you one.
I'm tempted. It's early, but I'm tempted to get on the Cowboys at that 3.5, man, because Bo Nix is not. He's not even gonna throw you one. He's gonna throw you a couple. It's how many are you gonna pick? Each game, he's gonna give you at least 2 or 3 that are. I mean, they were down 19-0 on the Giants for a reason. The dude is gonna give you opportunities to turn the ball over. If Bland can just be around the ball, if they can have any game plan similar to what they just had, Bo Nix is going to have to put up points. Because, yes, Denver's got a good defense. I think they have the most sacks in the league, and they're on pace. I don't think they'll get it, but they're on pace right now to break the NFL sack record as a team, which is 75 sacks, I think. I think they're already at like 40, and we're not even halfway through the season. So they do have a defense they can get after it. That defense is going to be on point because I know George Pickens is going to be on point. I know CeeDee Lamb is going to be on point, and I know Dak Prescott is going to be on point as well. So I'm interested to see how that game goes for this weekend. But the Cowboys get a big time win so far. Broncos 5-2 record. They played some formidable teams. They got some good wins.
Here's my point with the Broncos. The Titans, they were supposed to win that game. They lost to the Colts. They lost to the Chargers. They beat the Bengals. They won against a Philly team that I basically that was probably Philly's worst outing.
It was.
Right? We know what the Jets are. And then the Giants played them close. I don't see this game being the teams that they played in our division, we also played those teams really well. Tied one, beat one, beat one, lost to one, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
No, did we tie the Giants?
We tied with the Packers.
Oh, okay.
Was it the Giants? It was.
It was the Packers.
Yeah, it was the Packers. They beat the Giants.
We beat the Giants, tied with the Packers, and so I think this is actually now again. This is where we go. By resume, this should be a pick 'em.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at resume, click on Dallas's record. Their best win is with the Eagles. Is the Eagles, and then
Cowboys don't have a best win. They just had it.
Yeah. Commanders is our best win, but the Packers, how we played the Packers and how we played the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that should be a pick. That should be to me. If I was evaluating this should be a pick 'em game. But like you said, this is a great opportunity to get on the Cowboys on the road. The only thing that I'll say is we didn't play very well against the Panthers on the road, and we didn't play very well on the road against the Bears. So let's see. That may there may be something there. But I'm looking forward to this game because I think we have the edge in a few areas. One is at quarterback. I think our running back is outplaying anything that Denver has to offer at the running back position, and then, of course, at the wide receiver position, we probably have the best room in the league. If you want to be honest with you.
For sure. Especially if you have Ferguson in on that too and what he's been able to do, man. The pass catchers for Dallas have been phenomenal. If Bland can just start turning the football over, if they can get Bland and if Diggs can stop getting self-diagnosed concussions, whatever he did at the house to get a concussion, if they can get those guys to just turn the ball over, you don't have to stop anybody necessarily because I don't expect you just all of a sudden start stopping people. But if you can create turnovers, if you can create some anarchy on the defense, then that'll give your offense more leeway to be able to continue to do what they do, man. So that'll be a good game. This next coming up Sunday with Dallas Cowboys and the Denver Broncos. I want to look at a couple of these games here, but I want to get to the NBA real quick. First, I got to ask about what I deemed as the worst QBs in the league bowl, Dillon Gabriel and versus the Miami Dolphins. Nothing made special about this game, but one, Dillon Gabriel's playing in, so that's something to talk about. But the Dolphins on the other side.
No, let's be honest. This game is only of note because of who their third-string quarterback is.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what
no one else talk. Well, and because I want to talk about the fall apart in Miami because I've been calling for this to happen already. First of all, at the beginning of the season, one of the things I said was I do expect Shedeur Sanders to play this season, but if I could take a bet, it would be for Quinn Ewers to play before Shedeur Sanders does. Quinn Ewers is named starter for Sunday coming up. So I expected to see that because I also expected to see how bad Tua has been. Tua has been, I mean, there's so many other storylines going on, but Tua has been the worst starting quarterback in the NFL, and he's coming off a fresh $250 million contract that they somehow decided to give him. I said at the beginning of the season, Mike McDaniels won't make it through the season. I don't even know how he's still there right now. I said Tua wouldn't remain the starter. He's no longer the starter. Quinn Ewers has been named the starter, especially after Tua's comments have been more and more questionable each week. Last week he said it's a problem in leadership. That's why they're losing. So since he took a dig at Mike McDaniels fires back this week while not only benching him, but they asked, what do you expect for Quinn Ewers to do starting in the game on Sunday? He says not throw 10 interceptions. So the jabs have gone back and forth between these two. I expect both of them to be off of the Miami Dolphins by the end of this. The Dillon Gabriel side, they won a game. For the Dillon Gabriel fans, if there are any out there, they're going to say, oh, they won another game out there. Dillon Gabriel looking good. They won 31 for 6, but he's not even throwing the ball down the field. I think he is bottom last in yards attempted per pass. He's not really doing anything. Quinshon Judkins had like 80 yards almost at halftime, so I think that's why they were winning the game. And then Tua threw 3 picks. He played absolutely horrible.
Well, again, Tua is who he is, and I feel, and here's my deal. I feel bad for Tua because he has clear limitations. He's always had limitations, but because he can play well under these conditions, in a controlled environment, dome environment, and in South Florida, he can play well. You take him outside, if there's any cold, any rain, any wind, any snow, this is what you get.
Yeah.
This is what you get. I don't know why. It's almost like under perfect and when I say perfect conditions, I'm just saying not inclement weather. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Miami most of the year.
Yeah, he can really play well. He can slice it and dice it. He can do what you ask him to do if he has the weapons, right? But anytime you pull him out of those circumstances and situations, this is who he is, man. I mean, let's not. You take him to Buffalo, expect him to lose. You take him outside to Carolina, expect him to lose. You know.
Yeah.
Again, but even in those games where he's just throwing the ball to the other team the last 2 weeks. So yeah. I don't know what home or away, you can't throw the ball to the other team.
No, regardless, whether you're at home, you're in the dome, whether.
But to be honest, he hadn't really thrown the ball. Last 2 weeks, he's thrown 3 interceptions both games. That's attributed to the majority of his interceptions. And so, and I don't remember what the weather was like in South Florida on the 12th, but I know it was horrible in Cleveland this weekend.
Oh, yeah,
I watched every snap of that game, and the weather was garbage. And again, it was a situation where to me, Dylan Gabriel didn't look great at all.
No.
You know, he threw a couple passes that should have been picked. One probably should have been picked and taken to the house. But again, it wasn't. And once one team got up, the other team would have been incapable of coming back. And I would say vice versa. If somehow they had turnovers and returns and all that kind of stuff on against the Browns wouldn't have been able to come back either. I just think everything kind of fell in Cleveland's favor. And therefore, once they got behind, it was a recipe for disaster with Tua trying to come back. And of course, I don't think they were able to run the ball. Again, Cleveland defense is for real.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's for real.
And it's been for real for the last 3 or 4 years.
Rain, sleet, or snow. That defense is hell on wheels.
Can't stop 95.
It's hell on wheels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They gave the Rams the business.
Yeah.
You know.
Anybody the last 3 years. That's why they were in the playoffs a couple years ago.
The Packers. They gave the Packers.
Yeah.
the business.
They did. They definitely did. They're built for those weather games like that. That's how Cleveland's defense has been built for those bad. It don't matter if it's bad weather in Green Bay or bad weather in Cleveland or Cincy. That's how that team is built. The Browns found a way to get them a win as they beat the Miami Dolphins, but expect to see major changes in Miami, as I've already alluded to multiple times this season. Don't think Tua will be the quarterback. I think Tyreek Hill is going to retire. I think Miami Daniels is going to be somebody's offensive coordinator next year because he's not going to be the head coach of this Miami Dolphins
Does he
team.
make it through the entire season?
No. No. I don't know if he makes it to next week.
If he puts Quinn Ewers in, and it shows Quinn Ewers is able to show that he can function and operate in the offense and whatever, you don't hang on to him to potentially cultivate your next quarterback?
No, because I've already seen doesn't look like much relationship between him and Quinn already. You know, it's just speculation. They show the clips, and it was his first drive. Quinn gets in the game, first drive, goes 3 and out, comes back over towards the bench, kind of looking towards the head coach, and Mike McDaniels kind of just looks at him and looks back down and just lets Quinn keep walking. And a lot of people say, you know, it's rookie quarterback's first series. You come over, hey, this is what we saw. What'd you see out there? What happened? What'd you like?
If anybody looked like last week they didn't want to be there, it was Mike McDaniel.
He definitely did. I think he must have left his vape at home. He looked kind of irritated on the sideline. If y'all been around anybody use that vape, they get irritated quick. But the Dolphins, man, they're done. I thought they were done before the season started. The Browns, they're still done. Yes, Dylan Gabriel won another game, but if all you have to do is watch the film. The film will tell you what happened. Green Bay got a win over Arizona, and that's no news, but Micah Parsons with 3 sacks in that game. You get to see into the dominating performance from Micah Parsons last week.
No, man. I try not to watch.
Yeah.
Watch, you know. Again, I'm just glad the Cowboys won.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons is that guy.
For sure.
There is no question about that. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk, though, but it's still, he is who we thought he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He is who he is, man.
Exactly. And it's funny, I see the trade rumors going around that Dallas might be trying to trade for a pass rusher, which I think is just insane. But, shout out Jerry Jones, shout out Micah, man, to getting the job done, moving the Packers up as one of the better teams. While we got some time left, I want to go over and talk some NBA, man. The NBA season starts, don't even have to say tonight, starts in about 15 minutes. If you guys are already watching, they're doing their ring ceremony right now for Oklahoma City. Good thing Houston's about to come out there and spoil that ring ceremony in just a little bit. No, but the NBA season is starting tonight. The Rockets and OKC, and then the nightcap game will be the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. NBC basketball is back in full effect. I've seen their new studio that they just built. It looks great that they have out there for NBC. They put together a star-studded, all-star type of cast. I just saw Carmelo Anthony on the broadcast a second ago. At some point in the season, Michael Jordan will be a contributor to NBC as well. So I can't wait to be able to watch some of this great basketball on NBC. But the NBA is back, and I want to talk storylines as we get ready to go into the NBA season. First off, Rockets and Oklahoma City are playing tonight. Oklahoma City coming in as the defending champs, as we just said, they're doing their ring ceremony. Do we think this is going to be another successful year for the Oklahoma City Thunder? As of right now, obviously the season hasn't started, but would you take Oklahoma City or the field going into this upcoming season?
I'm definitely going to take the field. NBA repeats in the NBA.
Haven't had a repeat champion in 8 years.
It's very rare. I just want to, hey, before we get into that, let me ask you this question. Do you think the NBA is trolling Kevin Durant?
Because absolutely. NBA is the king of troll. All you got to do is look at the opening day games and the Christmas games. That'll show you all the trolling the NBA does before the season.
So, probably the greatest player in Oklahoma Thunder history happens to be there the night they hang the banner in the rafters. Unfortunately, after I think 10 years with the organization, he wasn't able to put a banner in the rafters. And I was just wondering.
Yeah, they got him. They know they trolling him. He said something about it on Twitter. I forget what he said, but he said something about it on Twitter. He knows they trolling him the same way they trolled him and had Golden State and playing against Oklahoma City on opening night a couple of years ago when Kevin Durant first went to Golden State Warriors and they played against Russell Westbrook. So the NBA loves to troll whenever they do that. But I want to look at both of these conferences at a few of these teams. One of them, the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm like you. I would take the field just because of history. No repeat champions in the last 8 years. There's been a new champion every single year for the last 8 years. I expect the same thing to happen this year. I don't know exactly who my champion will be. Obviously, we got a long season to be able to see how that plays out.
I think they're the favorite.
Oh, by far.
I also think they're the first champion in a while that's kind of like stayed pat. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They didn't make any big moves, didn't move any players. I think they're still one of the younger teams in the NBA. So, they didn't have to make any tough decisions about who to keep, who to stay. And so I think they have a good chance, but I definitely take the field. You got teams like the Mavericks, Houston, who they're going to play tonight. I still think a lot of people have, given Golden State, said Golden State is past, it's passed them by. But if Kuminga can make a step, that changes what that team is.
Butler gets a full offseason in the team now.
Absolutely. You take, and then there's always the Lakers and that bad man, LeBron James. And this will be the first team that he's ever been on and where he's not the leader, clear first season to ever start where he's not won't be the focal point of the team.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what that looks like. And of course, coming into the season is he 40 yet?
Who is that? LeBron. He's 41. I think getting ready to be 42.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's getting on up there, man.
Yeah. So how healthy can he be at that age?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
I think the first time he's not starting opening day as well in his whole 23-year career. It'll be the first time he's not on the opening day roster. As far as a starter, he won't be starting tonight. I think he's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, probably close to a month. And I think they should keep him out. He's 40. You don't need him for right now. You need LeBron for March, April, May, June. I think you go ahead and leave him out as long as he wants to sit out.
I think you bring him back December, early December.
Let him ramp it up.
And then you let him ease his way back in. That doesn't guarantee a healthy LeBron, but it doesn't. He gets to play a couple months and then go into the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. And then after the All-Star break, he gets to play a month or so and get ready for the playoffs. Because Lakers are looking to be a contender and be in the playoffs. As we're watching NBC, it's interesting to see Carmelo as part of the broadcast.
Yeah.
And also Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, T-Mac, Tracy McGrady, Carmelo Anthony. I forget the other man. It's a star-studded lineup though. They didn't NBC hadn't spared any money. Some of that Sunday Night Football money is rolled over into the NBA, and they've got a star-studded cast out here.
So is this on the network or is this on the app?
It's going to be on the Peacock app, and it's going to be on the NBC network. Like right now, this is on regular, where you would be watching the news right now. Instead of 6 o'clock news, you're watching this.
Wow.
Tonight. Yeah.
I didn't know
So they're
that.
going back the old school way of putting it on where everybody can watch it.
It'll be on network television as well as
on Peacock is where you'll be able to watch it
Wow.
on the app. So yeah, it's a big time deal. The NBC Inc. Pushing out Turner Sports is the bigger deal in my opinion. To push TNT is to college football now. I ain't never seen TNT doing college football, but that's what TNT has been relegated to. The college football as they got pushed out of the NBA contract as well. But yeah, I agree with you on some of those teams that are going to be formidable in the West. Golden State is very interesting because they add a guy like Al Horford into that mix as well. An older group, but a lot of good veterans on that team. I'm starting probably this week, I think on Thursday, is when we're going to do our debut. I'm going to debut a show that's going to cover just the NBA teams in Texas. I'm going to call it Lone Star Hoops. It's going to cover all the Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs, because I think this is the first time in probably about a decade that we're going to have where all three teams are not only going to be good but expected to be contenders in Texas with the Mavericks, with the Spurs, and with the Rockets as well. So I'll be doing that starting on Thursday. So look out for that. Lone Star Hoops. You'll catch it'll be right here on Centex Sports Network as well as we cover all three of those teams. In the Eastern Conference is a little more weird. Indiana Pacers went to the finals last year, but their best player, Tyrese Halliburton, is going to be out this entire year. So with that being said, that knocks them out immediately. The second team you'll go to is, the Boston Celtics had the best record over the last couple of years, but their best player, Jason Tatum, is out with an Achilles, and he's going to miss at least majority of this year. Now, he's pushing to come back this year, even though he got hurt at the end of last season, and I think May is when he got hurt, and you typically want to sit out about a year with an Achilles. But we'll see how that goes with his recovery. As of right now, he's looking to miss majority of the year. So now we have to scramble and figure out who are the top teams in the Eastern Conference. I think New York is going to be right up there. Once again, we'll have to see how the new look Knicks look without Tibbs in there and Mike Woodson coming in to make that transition. I think that the Cleveland Cavaliers, once again, will be right at the top. They had the best record there last year. I think they made some good offseason additions, guys like Lonzo Ball joining in there. The Milwaukee Bucks will be better with Miles Turner replacing Brook Lopez and them trying to keep Giannis happy out there as well. And then there's a couple wild card teams. Will Philly ever get healthy? I don't know if they ever be healthy enough to win games. They got a good roster if they ever get healthy. The Orlando Magic are going to be one of my favorite teams to watch. They're one of my favorite teams to watch last year. And then they add in a guy like Desmond Bane who can really score the ball as well. When you look in the Eastern Conference, who are some of the teams you think that could make some noise in the East as they don't have really any true favorite in the Eastern Conference with the top two teams being knocked down?
Well, first off, I like when I look at the East, I cannot not consider Giannis one of the top, and the Milwaukee Bucks as being one of the top teams. Then, of course, you got to go to after Giannis, you got to go to the Knicks, and then you got to go, the young team, Orlando.
Yeah.
And the other team that's kind of an enigma, been an enigma the last few years, with a star-studded lineup, Maxey, George, Embiid, are the Philadelphia 76ers. Can this be the year that they put it all together and stay healthy and become what everybody thinks they should be? Mm-hmm. We'll get a chance to see. Again, I think if you have a full complement of their stars, Philly should be pretty formidable. Mm-hmm. And it may be a good enough team where Doc Rivers can't mess it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we'll see. And then I'm not I don't necessarily like the Heat, but somehow they always find themselves to be in the mix. So I'm see. I don't expect anything. Like I say, the Pacers. I think they'll figure out a way to be in the playoff hunt, but without Halliburton, because they were so dependent on him being the catalyst for what they do. But I am going to be interested to see what that looks like without him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting in the East. Most of the action is in the Western Conference. Western Conference is loaded. There's probably only 2 or 3 teams that you even consider in the West to be not in the playoff run. That's probably Utah, Portland, and maybe a Sacramento team. Everybody else, you expect to be right in the playoff race, seeing them. So it's going to be a fun NBA season. What do you expect to see out of some of the games tonight? I won't exactly have you pick a winner because we don't know what's going to happen in any of these games tonight. But what are some of the
you may want to get your underdog
to
together.
See, I try to tell everybody, man, for y'all to get on Prize Picks and stuff. This is not the time to do it. I know they give you all the promos and make all the stuff look good, so you go in there and spend the money. But you ain't doing nothing but absolutely you don't know what's going to happen out here. I don't even start until like the next week because the first few games you have absolutely no idea what any of these teams look like, who is the go-to scorer, especially with so many guys starting off this season injured as well. But some things I just want to see, what does this lineup look like for the Rockets? Obviously, I'm a Rockets fan, but them starting the tallest lineup in the NBA, starting Kevin Durant at the 2 tonight, who's 7 feet tall. How does that lineup work out? Can they even move the ball around? What does transition defense look like with that many big, tall, slow guys out there on the court? So those are some of the things I want to see. And now on the Lakers side of it, not want to say the new look Lakers, but they added some pieces, the Marcus Smarts, the DeAndre Aidens. How do those pieces fit around Luka? As it looks like now, this is a team that's more built to play around Luka than it is to play around or to play with the Luka and LeBron. This looks like a Luka-built type of team. So those are some of the things. Any storylines you're looking forward to seeing, at least for tonight, or maybe even on tomorrow's slate of games?
I want to see what Andre Ayton looks like in a Laker uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Is he, and how they implement in the game? Is he a guy that still can play the energy, effort, position, and still get the number of touches or whatever, or are they going to be out there trying to run plays for his?
Yeah.
For him, I don't think he's a guy that you benefit from trying to run plays through. I think pick and roll, lobs, secondary breaks, stuff like that are things that
Tyson Chandler. That's what
he can really execute. I think it'll bog the team down trying to run plays or run the offense through him.
Yeah, he got to be a Tyson Chandler. That's what he needs to do. Tyson Chandler on the Mavs or on the Hornets, whatever Tyson Chandler you want to pick. That's what DeAndre Ayton needs to be. No throwing the ball down low for him to put up one of those stiff hook shots that he likes to brick. Just pick and roll offense, man. Play the way that Luka wants to win. You've seen Luka go to the finals with a bunch of bigs that can't even dribble the ball. He needs rim runners and guys who can kick the ball out to play three. I think that's what the Lakers have right now, and that's what makes them interesting. But we'll see how that plays out tonight. NBA tip-off getting ready to start. As you see, they got the Jamal Crawfords. They stole Reggie Miller from Turner Sports out there. And they even got old Mike Tirico working double overtime now for NBC, doing Sunday Night Football and backdoor as well, calling the NBA game. So I'm excited for this NBC and NBA marriage that seems to be coming back together, man. They put together a star-studded roster over there at NBC, so definitely salute to those guys.
And for the young people may not realize it, but this is a network that is very used to broadcasting NBA games and probably broadcast some of the most iconic games in NBA history. Yep. You know what I mean? So I look forward to it. Turner did a great job, no doubt, but there's something about that NBC NBA connection that really makes this interesting.
Yeah, it made me think back to the games and made me really, become an NBA fan, man. And even if you're a guy like me that goes on these deep, dark searches of old games in the 80s and 90s, you can't find a good game without it being on NBC basketball as well, man. So I'm excited about that marriage coming back together. Want to go back over to some football, talk about this college football weekend. Before we do that, I want to shout out a couple of my players of the week on the high school side of things, on the high school level. Some of the guys that had an outstanding week this last couple of weeks. Can't believe the regular season is already getting near an end in high school football. It seems like we just started doing the first episode of Friday Night Flex just a couple of weeks ago, but we're already nearing towards the end for the regular season of high school football. First, I got to start down in Chilton, Texas, man. As y'all haven't watched before, man, we talk about this Chilton team all the time. Chilton is one of my favorite teams to watch, one of the best teams in the Central Texas area. Xavier Taylor, the running back, 19 carries, 259 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then y'all know this is two-way football, so you got to go play the other way. gets 12 tackles and 2 sacks on the defensive side of the ball as well. So Xavier Taylor, phenomenal game once again for him. The Conley Cadets, Jamarian Vincent, the 4-star corner that's headed to Baylor in the spring. 10 catches, 144 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also chipped in with a few tackles on the defensive side of the ball as well. Out in Fairfield, one of our guys, Cole Collins, the quarterback of Fairfield, 14 for 16, 256 yards, 5 touchdowns. Once again, a dominating performance for Fairfield, and Cole Collins continues to dominate in high school football once again. Courtney Parr for the La Vega Pirates, 18 for 30, 229 yards and a couple touchdowns. His receiver, Jabari Thornton, 6 catches, 91 yards. Huge big-time matchup this weekend in high school football in the Central Texas area. Robinson Rockets going out there to La Vega to play. That is going to be one of the best games, if not the best game of the week in Central Texas with those two teams matching up with each other. That should be a really, really great game as well. A couple other guys that had some outstanding games. The one guy you call almost old reliable, Evan Marino for the Robinson Rockets, 285 yards, 2 touchdowns in their win this past weekend as Robinson has been playing some really, really good football as well. The University Trojans, Savoy Nichols, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns. The main thing, he carried the ball for 12 times for 112 yards and a touchdown as well, adding that dual threat element to his game. And Savoy Nichols, he played great along to go with his one of his great receivers outside of London Smith, Jeremiah Green, who's played great on both sides of the ball, added another pick on defense, but also added in 9 catches for 133 yards and a touchdown as well. Don't want to leave your Waco High Lions out of this, Rocky. Amiri Medlock, 21 carries, 167 yards in their last game. We'll get to see him up close and personal this weekend. Like we said, we'll be at that university game this weekend coming up. Those are some of my players of the week, though, in high school football on the high school level. Some really, really big-time games coming up this weekend. We already alluded we'll be at the Waco High University game, but we got La Vega Robinson this weekend, La Vega versus Robinson this weekend. We'll break down more of these games definitely in the pregame of Friday Night Flex. But this week, Friday Night Flex will be at WISD Stadium, so make sure you guys are tuning in for that this Friday, 6 to 10 p.m. This week on Friday Night Flex. We'll get some really big games. Want to go over and look at some college football while we have some time here left on the show tonight, guys. Great weekend in college football. I did not get a chance to clean up as I did my parlay the weekend before. I did do a decent job this week in the NFL lane, but on the college side of things, a couple things caught me off guard. Tech losing to Arizona State definitely caught me off guard this weekend. I didn't take A&M in the points, but I was close to taking them on that 7.5. The last minute I pulled out and took them on the money line instead because I was scared. I was like, man, they're going to Fayetteville. Arkansas is going to play them tough old-time rivalry. So I ended up cleaning up there as well. And then the last one I lost, Utah and BYU. I lost that one as well. I thought Utah would be able to pull that out. BYU stays undefeated as they got to win over their biggest rival in Utah at home. Any games that caught you off guard before we dive into a couple of these?
Well, really, man, I was looking really bad until Mizzou in overtime scored a touchdown, which allowed me to I think I had them -4, so I needed to win by, I think 4.5 to be, if I'm not mistaken. So I definitely needed that. And, also, like the Tech game I didn't expect Tech to struggle on offense the way they did.
Me either. Me either.
I thought they played really well. I thought they played well defensively. I was really impressed with Levitt. Levitt made some timely passes. He was able to make some plays. But they just seemed like they weren't able to get anything going on offense. And they weren't able to run the ball the way I thought they would be able to. So it was like I say, it was an interesting game, and it's a situation now. I'll ask you this: how much do you count this against Tech, realizing they didn't have their starting quarterback?
Yeah, I can't count it too much against them. They stayed in the game. Arizona State probably right up there as 2 or 3 if you're talking about rankings in the Big 12. So this is one of the best teams in your conference. They're playing at home. and you don't have your starting quarterback out there, I can't fault them too much.
And they were playing for their viability. You know, remember I was talking about putting a nail in the coffin? This was good. This would have been the nail in the ASU coffin.
Yep.
All their dreams of winning the Big 12 would have been over after this third loss in conference play.
Yep.
And, you know, Tech wasn't able to put the nail in the coffin. And I think this is going to happen several other times as we go along. As teams pile up losses, they get that second loss. And then in order to put them out, you're going to have to have a certain caliber team. Or the team, you're going to have to be one of those teams that they kind of overlook and sneak up on them.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be a team like Tech coming into your place and then be a team that you're going to have to be a really good team and play really well to put the nail in the coffin. I'm looking forward to this week in the Big 12 and seeing the games that are coming up. There are a few games that really intrigue me.
Yeah.
As I'm interested to see how they will unfold.
Yeah, the Big 12 got some big-time games coming up, but, yeah, the Tech not being able to run the ball. I mean, Cameron Dickey rushed for 40 yards in this game. The week before, he rushed for 260. So you take out those yardage, you take away the yardage that you would get expecting Morton to be in there. I still expect Tech to be right there, cream of the crop in the Big 12. I still expect them to win the Big 12 if Will Hammond can play better and if Morton can get healthy. Their defense, I don't have many questions about them. When you got a guy like David Bailey, who even in this game had 2 sacks, he's the league leader, leads the nation in sacks by a couple of sacks. I think he's in front of guys by maybe even 2 sacks on the season. He's playing phenomenal football. If they can get something out of the offense, Tech is still going to be formidable in this game. But there were some really big games this weekend, some surprises. Miami losing to Louisville was the first surprise to me. I definitely had Miami winning. I didn't pick them on anything, but I had Miami winning marked down in my head to win. Carson Beck kind of showed some of that Carson Beck that had everybody mad at him the last couple of years at Georgia. Threw 4 interceptions in this game. Even when as far as blaming his tight end on that last pick, saying he didn't run the right route, well, I mean, you didn't have to throw it over there either. Nebraska losing to Minnesota was surprising to me, especially losing the way that they did. They got just completely and totally dominated by them as well. Ohio State, it's not a surprise that they won, but shutting out Wisconsin 34-0, I think Ohio State is starting to play. Each week I feel like they're getting better, and their young quarterback that I had a lot of question marks about, Julian saying, is playing better, playing some of the best football. I think he's leading the league in completion percent, leading the nation in completion percentage, or right up there at the top of completion percentage. 17-2 touchdown ratio, almost thrown for 2,000 yards. Got to get a great credit, man. He's playing some good football right now. Alabama, them continuing to dominate. I didn't expect much of this Alabama team coming in. Them getting another big-time win over Tennessee. The way that Ty Simpson has played, playing himself even into NFL mock drafts now with how well he's been playing as well. So that seeing them get another win, I think was kind of impressive to me as well. And then seeing Notre Dame take out USC, I think we all have picked Notre Dame to win that game, but Notre Dame still taking out a really good offense, and USC as well. I expected to see what I saw at the Longhorns, so I wasn't shocked by, I don't know if you were shocked by the outcome with Texas having to win in overtime against a Kentucky team 16-13. But I wasn't shocked by it. They were playing on the road. Arch Manning is, I mean, this is who he is at this point. You can't expect him, as you guys have said, to put too much on his plate early. But with the way that offensive line is playing and the way he's playing on top of that, man, I don't expect much out of this Texas Longhorns team whatsoever. Even though they're still ranked, they've dropped 2 games already. But you barely beat a 2-4 Kentucky team, 16-13. I can't expect much out of the Longhorns from here.
Man, I want to see what their current ranking is now. What did Texas? How many spots?
22.
Oh, they
only failed 1.
Well, I mean, yeah, they, you know, because I just wanted to see where did they put Tech?
Tech's 14.
Tech's 14 behind Oklahoma. I don't necessarily think that's a wise selection. BYU, I totally think they're counterfeit.
Me
even
too.
though
I think the voters think they are too. They're 7-0 and they're number 11 in the nation.
Yeah.
So I think they think the same thing we think, that they're a little fugazi as well. Ole Miss, I think, is kind of overvalued. They're 6-1. Yeah, they lost to Georgia, so they'll say, "Oh, we'll keep them right there." But I think we might start seeing a slew of Ole Miss losses. Not a lot of. I don't think they're going to have a 5-loss season, but they didn't play anybody first, and now they're finally starting to play people.
Well, again, if you watch that Ole Miss game,
Mm-hmm.
they should have really handled Georgia. They had them.
They
had the game.
They had them.
And they couldn't muster any points in the fourth quarter.
Mm.
And they couldn't stop anybody either.
Yeah, they couldn't stop anybody from Georgia on the other side. Man, every week I say Gunnar Stockton, I got to give him. He's better than what I thought. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in college or
Who's
he's the best.
A&M have this week? Because I want to.
A&M has got LSU at LSU. Man, that's a game.
That's a night game.
I should have went to that one, man. See if
over in Death Valley.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a tough game. This is a game. Let me see LSU's.
I'm gonna go to it real quick.
Record. I think they have 2 conference losses.
Yeah, they do. 2-2 in the SEC.
This is that nail.
Yep.
This is
the nail?
Do you think A&M is a good enough team to put a nail in LSU's coffin on the road?
I think this is the biggest test A&M is going to have all year because of the 2 things that you just said, that putting that nail in the coffin. So now LSU is playing from a desperation point.
Yeah.
And then you have to go into Death Valley and
they're going to be paying attention all week.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be paying attention and they're going to know the game plan back and forth. There's nobody patting them on the back. There's nobody kissing their tail. They walk around campus with their heads hung low, and they're going to be playing for their playoff lives at this point. And again, is A&M a good enough team? I don't, and this is my honest opinion, I don't think they're a good enough team to put the nail in the coffin of LSU on the road. And now, if LSU came in undefeated or something like that, I think, you could. But this team is going to be focused. They're going to be ready to play in Death Valley. They're going to be, pretty lubricated. The fan base will be pretty lubricated. It'll be a madhouse.
Oh man!
And I just think, and it's not because I think A&M is not a good team. I think LSU's going to elevate their play to a point to make it very difficult.
Yeah, I'd have a tough time picking A&M in this one. You go into Death Valley at night when they're desperate, knowing they have to win. Man, that's one of the hardest places to do that.
Can you click on that game? Let me see who's the favorite in that game. I wouldn't be surprised if LSU was the favorite.
A&M is favored, but barely. So that shows you what they think about Death Valley in the scenario. Because with them LSU being a 2-loss team, A&M being undefeated, usually you'd see 5-6 points right here. But with it being, especially early, this is the opening line at 2.5. This might go down to 1. You never know. By the time we get close to the end of the week, that's going to be a great game, though. I'm like you. I don't know if A&M is that team. I don't know if Reed has enough of the dog in him to go to LSU and shut their season down.
I think as an underdog, it would be more, more possible. But with LSU, that talent that they have talent. Once they ratchet that talent up and put it on full display, and there's no better time to do it. If they can't do it in this situation, then they just don't have it. I think they do have talent. And so let's see if they can rise up to the occasion and provide some resistance.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge one, man. If it wasn't, the scenario would be the only reason why I would pick LSU in this game. If it wasn't for that, I would pick A&M because after what I've watched them, how they lost to Vandy last week, it's just hard for me to trust this LSU team. It's hard for me to trust Garrett Nussmeier. It's hard for me to trust Brian Kelly and play calling abilities.
That was on the road, right?
That was on the road in Vanderbilt as well. So
it's a different game.
It is a different game, especially in Nashville. They ain't had nothing to cheer for in a long time besides Carrie Underwood or something like that. So them getting extra cheer for a football team, that was definitely a good environment. I don't think much about the Indiana-UCLA game, but what do you think about Indiana being number 2 in the country?
Oh, I think they've earned it, man.
Yeah, they have.
This is a situation where you throw the reputations out of the mix, and you just go off the resume. And based on resume, these guys are the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's this particular game, big noon kickoff. UCLA, their body clocks will be at 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, so let's look at this. I don't see a situation where UCLA.
Oh, no.
Cinderella.
They're going to get beat to sleep in this game.
Yeah, Cinderella's going to find out. And again, you know, I don't expect much out of UCLA. But if you do get some resistance out of UCLA, that'll let you know that maybe the coaching staff has turned the corner.
Yeah.
And you may have the guy
undefeated, I think, since the firing.
Yeah. So let's see what this game is. Oh, yeah, it's 25 points.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be anything I'd be picking, but just in history, Indiana and with Kurtzinetti, this isn't the game they lose. When they get a team that they're supposed to beat by a lot, usually they almost double the total. If they're supposed to beat them by 20, they like to beat them by 50. That's just the type of team and the type of coach that Kurtzinetti is.
So let me look at Indiana's schedule for a second, just to look at.
They don't play anybody left. If you want.
No, I'm just talking about, like, you know. So I may be a little, again, on this one. We're gonna have to just let this play out because I'm not sure what Indiana is. They beat Oregon, and we know Oregon is formidable. And, you know, Michigan State. Illinois was a top 10 team at the time, and I think we know. We have more information on Illinois.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think UCLA puts up any resistance. But I just don't know for sure that they'll cover that 25.
Yeah, the 25 is what make me stay far away from that. I don't even take games anywhere near that. But Indiana, man, like you said, much deserved. I think Mendoza is possibly playing as the best quarterback right now in college football. He's leading the league, and he's leading the nation in touchdown. He's top 3 in yards. He's top 2 in completion percentage in the nation. Mendoza's having a near perfect season, and coupled that along with the number 2 team in the nation, I don't see how he's not the favorite for the Heisman. I don't know who the favorite for the Heisman is, but it would have to be Mendoza, in my opinion. If you lead the league in touchdown, you lead the nation in touchdowns, you have a 21-2 touchdown to interception ratio. It's hard for me to have anybody in front of Mendoza right now as the favorite to be able to win. Some more fun games this coming up weekend. We got Ole Miss, OU. I'll start with that one. A lot of good SEC games this weekend. We already talked about LSU. A&M, but Ole Miss, OU. OU's playing at home. Ole Miss coming off their first loss of the season. John Mateer is still trying to get healthy. This is a game that, it's really a pick 'em in my opinion on how this one can go. If John Mateer and the offense are able to get back to some type of cohesiveness, I think Oklahoma will win this game, but I just haven't seen that since the injury of John Mateer. Offense just fell way off.
I just think Lane Kiffin is a better coach. I actually think Chambliss is the better quarterback. In a lot of ways, I think Ole Miss has just played better this season.
Yeah.
So even though they're the underdog in this game, I take Ole Miss. As a matter of fact, I am going to bet this.
Yeah, I don't. Especially at 4.5 points, I would have to take Ole Miss in this one. As you said, Ole Miss has played better football. I really do like OU, and I like their defense. But since the injury, John Mateer, he just hasn't played good. It's been 2 or 3 games now. He hasn't played good. I don't expect him to just come out against a good Ole Miss defense and all of a sudden turn into John Mateer at Washington State. So for that reason, I would have to take Ole Miss in that game. And that's going to be a really, really close one. Vandy and Mizzou, 2 teams that kind of caught some people off guard this year, both 6-1, both playing in the SEC. Vandy coming off a big win against LSU. Missouri coming off a win against Auburn in overtime this past weekend. They got their first loss a couple of weeks ago against Alabama. Vanderbilt is a 2.5-point favorite in this game. They're playing at Nashville as well. Who do you like in this one, Vandy and Missouri?
I like Vandy just simply because they're at home.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I watched a lot of that Mizzou game. I saw how they played against Auburn. I wasn't really impressed in that game, so I'll take Pavia. I think the coaching is a push. I think Pavia is the better quarterback, and Vanderbilt's defense is a feisty bunch.
Yes.
I think Mizzou has probably the better defense, but Pavia provides a much more explosive offense.
Yeah, Pavia is the guy that it's the reason I didn't pick Vandy and LSU last week. Pavia is a guy that if you're a bettor, you're terrified of him. He can ruin any spread, any game that they're supposed to lose. He's the type of quarterback and the type of player that can blow all of that up. I can't bet against the Pavia in a game like this where there's unknowns on both sides. I'm going to go with the one known that we do have, and that's Diego Pavia is going to play good. So I got to take Vanderbilt in Nashville to be able to pick up that win for this coming up weekend. One that's not in the Power 4 conference, but I think is a really interesting game is that Memphis and USF. USF, we all remember from the beginning of the season, they beat Florida. They had a great start to the season, 6-1. Their only loss being to Miami on the season. Ranked number 18 in the country. Memphis, on the other side, was off to a similar start in that. They've beaten some Power 4 schools. They were undefeated. And then last week they come out and lay an egg against UAB and lose that game. What do you think about USF and Memphis? They're playing at Memphis, but USF is a 4.5-point favorite.
I think USF has played well on the road. I think they got a win against Florida, if I'm not mistaken, on the road. I think they went to Florida. Yeah, I definitely think USF is the play on this one. I don't know if they cover the 4, but I think they're definitely the play.
Yeah, I would have to take them just based off of both of their opponents' schedule. Their Memphis' best win is against Arkansas in the game that they came back and won off a last-minute play. And then on the other side of that, USF's best win is Florida. So I definitely will take USF in that one as well. Looking at some more of these games coming up, Baylor got Cincinnati. They're playing at Cincy in this game. Cincinnati, number 21, finally getting some recognition, getting ranked. They've been playing actually some really good football the last few weeks. Brent Sorsby, a guy that we saw at Big 12 Media Day, he's been playing some of the best football in the Big 12. He's got an 18-1 touchdown to interception ratio on the year. Cincinnati's been playing good. They upsetted Iowa State a couple of weeks ago. They kind of got them on the map. But the biggest part of it, they're 4-0 in the Big 12. And that's what's the most important because Big 12, you're looking at the BYUs right at the top of that. You're looking at the Texas Techs right at the top of that. You're looking at the super surprise, the U of H, who's 6-1. I thought by now would have fell off to about maybe 500 in Big 12 play. But they're finding a way to get wins. They're 6-1 in the Big 12 as well. What do you think about Baylor and Cincinnati this coming up weekend at Cincinnati?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough matchup for Baylor. Cincinnati has a really good offense. They've been really competitive on defense. Baylor hadn't put much resistance up defensively at all.
No, against anybody.
So I just think this is a situation where, the Bearcats are the better team. They are at home. Sawyer Robertson is going to have to play out of his mind in order to win this game. Sawyer has played really well, but if I had to pick a all-conference quarterback, I don't see a better option right now than Sorsby. He's the first-team all-conference quarterback. If you were selecting somebody now,
yeah.
When you throw the ball 18 touchdowns and have one interception, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, he's playing near flawless football. So this weekend, really big games on the high school level, college level, and NFL level as well, folks. Well, we're getting ready to wrap up here tonight. Rock, you got HBCU Coaches Corner tonight. What's going on?
Hey, man, we're going to recap Week 8 games. We're going to go over those, and then we're going to discuss there has been a huge development on the coaching side in HBCU and in the SWAC. Head coach from Southern, Terrence Graves, was relieved of his duties. That's a fancy way of saying fired.
Yeah.
And he and his assistant coach, Fred McNair, has taken the helm as interim. Former head coach of Alcorn State, former SWAC championship coach from Alcorn State. So I'm really interested to see. We're going to discuss firing the coaches and why it seems so hard these last 5 to 6 years for SWAC ADs to hire competent coaches. They're just running through coaches like water, and so we're going to discuss that along with what do we expect from Southern now that they've replaced their head coach with, again, an interim coach.
Yep. So make sure you guys getting ready, tuning in for that. Coming up in about an hour, HBCU Coaches Corner. You'll be able to catch it here on Centex Sports Network and on Rocky's channel as well. So signing off here today, folks. We're out of time. MCC Volleyball tomorrow at 6 o'clock right here on Centex Sports Network. Debut of Lone Star Hoops is what we're calling it on Thursday to cover the San Antonio Spurs, Rockets, and Mavericks. Make sure you guys tune in for that. Friday Night Flex live from WISD Stadium, Waco High versus University. Full week here on Centex Sports Network. Make sure you guys are tuned in and ready. We'll see you guys next time. See you tomorrow for MCC Volleyball. Everybody have a great evening.